FranCanada Podcast by East Brands, where we talk all things franchising in Canada. And we're really, really excited today for the next big thing in Canada. We have good friends of mine, sweetest people that you'll ever meet, and one hell of a business. Express Pizza Plus Donair. We got Sal and Michael on. How you doing, boys?
How's it going, Steve?
Well, I'm a little warmer than when I went to see you last week. It was, yeah, cool. But I tell you, I'm still, the Donair and pizza withdrawals are real. They are real. It took about 2 days, and then you're wanting it pretty fierce. So thanks for being on, guys. And for those watching, Express Pizza Plus Donair, we've been working with for quite some time, the better part of the last half year, to really work on their franchise model as they grow, a little bit of rebranding, and we got some big things coming. So, and I know I said it in the intro, you couldn't meet a nicer family. The hospitality was amazing, and let's jump into it. So maybe introduce yourself, Saul. Maybe start with you, and then we'll go to Michael.
Sure. Sal Arabi, the founder of Express Pizza Plus Donairs, and my son, Michael. Steve, it was nice meeting you in person last week. I know we've been working together for almost over 6 months, for sure. Yeah. About a year, actually, now. Just time flies so fast. Yeah, it was about this time. It was March of last year.
Wow, it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's March already.
Almost been a year now.
It's almost in a year. And also, it's interesting enough, I was just going through my notes here. Every deal we did through the Express was done in March. So
come on.
It's kind of amazing. So March for us is a spring. That's where the spring starts. That's where the things that grows green and started to enjoy in the rest of the year is in the spring, which is in March. So we're very thankful that
it's like a metaphor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Michael, maybe tell us about you, bud.
Well, my name's Michael Arabi. I've been involved with Express Pizza, I guess, from day one, with my parents, and now we're deciding to franchise the business and, meeting new people along the way, working with great companies, great people such as Steve and East Brands here. And we're looking forward to the growth here, and we look forward to talking a little bit more about our brand and what we have to offer.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into it, guys. Tell us the story. So kind of, how to come to be where you were, where you are, and where you came from, all that stuff. It's very interesting.
So the story started since I was a kid. I always enjoyed food. I jumped into the kitchen sometimes, even when I was like 8-10 years old, watching my mom how she used to cook and being creative for different food daily, because we came up with, we're a family of 5. So there's always, every day there was cooking going at home. And as I grew up, I started enjoying it more and more. And it's being creative. And being creative, that's kind of led me down the road. I found myself, I'm an entrepreneur business, because putting these ideas in your head, you can create things, mix spices, mix food, you come up with this delicious meal. And that's part of me being an entrepreneur down the road at 18, 19 years old. The story started is I got married at 21 years old to my beautiful wife, Sarah. She's 1 year younger than me. We started early. And then a year after, we found that we're expecting a baby, a new baby, Michael. So we bought our first house in the first year we got married. By 2022, we had our first house, our first car. We both were working. She was working hard. I was working one job and maybe part-time job also, till we found out that we are expecting a baby. That means you need a lot of money to support that. And for a young couple with no support, we have to sit down and figure out how we're going to do this before the new baby gets born. So I started working 2 jobs. One of them starts 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. at a hotel, a restaurant here in town. And I take a break from 2 to 3. And that's I go home, shower, change, and start my other shift at 3 o'clock till 11 o'clock at night. So if you add the hours, that's 17 hours working a day. I did that for almost 2 years. And when Michael was born, it was so hard for me not seeing him daily. But obviously, working these hours was very, very minimum minutes, if I call it, that I could see my son, which is his birth was everything in my life. It just is something unique. As me and you, Steve, we talked about it. I cried a lot when I saw Michael the first 2 seconds, and I got very emotional. So at that moment, I kept working to support the family, but we made a decision, me and Sarah, that when we have kids, she want to raise the kids and I work as hard as I can. That's what we both agreed on. And a year after, so Michael was born in April 2003. Towards the end of 2023, I find it too hard for me. It's just working so much, not seeing my kid. In January, February, I start thinking, if I'm going to be working all these hours and almost a minimum wage, back in the days, you're talking 2003, minimum wage, I think, was $7 or $8 at the time. I thought either I'm going to do a restaurant for myself because I love cooking. That's what I could thrive and I can enjoy, or I'm going to go work in the oil field because this area here has been busy in the oil field. So I thought, no, I want to try my own business. With the support of my wife, obviously, she pushed me a lot. And in March of 2004, we signed the lease on the building that you came and saw here, the first location for Express Pizza. We had no money besides some asset a little bit in the house. The car was fully loaned as well. But the nice thing is, wherever I go talk to people, like the landlord, she believed in me. She said, your story, it just made me that I want to help you to do this. So she took on the leasehold improvements completely. And I paid her back, obviously, through the years, but she did all the reno here. Went to the credit union bank here, Lakeland Credit Union. I told the story to the commercial lender. She got very emotional and she's like, you're too young to come talk to me about a business, but I'm very, very impressed with your idea. I'm going to do above and beyond what it takes to get your loan. So we started that way. And then things happen. So we were, the tiles that you've seen in our place here, I did it myself because I couldn't afford hiring anyone. So I laid all the tiles on the floor. I did whatever I can. We were fortunate to open the first day of our business. And it was very, very close to my heart. And I get emotion every time I talk about it because that minute, Steve, I had $0 on my credit card. I lived off my credit card, making my house payment, my mortgage payment for 8 months because I had no job at the time. And then we worked so hard. We used to open Friday, Saturday from 10 a.m. till 4 a.m. So imagine these hours for almost 8 months, 7 days a week, no days off. The only day off we took that year was Christmas Day. And yeah, like Sarah used to bring Michael to the store at night after supper time so I could see him for a bit.
Yeah, closing shift. I was working the closing shift.
He was closing it.
Drooling all over the place.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that shows you that's what true entrepreneurship is, right?
Yeah.
It's the process, and you look back at it now. That's part of the reason why we have franchises, right? You put that time in, and that's a very condensed version of your success, man. And seeing you guys, what I love about it is success gleams off you, but you're very humble, right?
Yeah.
And kudos to you. So, Michael, how about you?
Well, as you said,
Where
here,
Michael come from? Yeah.
Where I come from? I guess these guys.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, for me, as my dad explained here, my father's vision for Express Pizza Plus Donair started with passion for food and a desire to bring something unique to the community here in the Lakeland area. He, along with my mother, laid the foundation for our family business about almost 20 years ago now. And as for me, growing up in the business, starting at, I think, 13, washing dishes, I witnessed firsthand the dedication and hard work that they poured into it. So I guess joining them was a natural progression for me. And together we've continued to build upon that legacy, creating a thriving business that we're proud of today. And, we look forward to introducing to even more wonderful communities.
It has been about a year. And when you look at how much time it takes to put in building a franchise infrastructure, there's a lot to it. So, we look at the percentage of brands that don't make it, that just try to wing it and way it go. That certainly isn't you guys. You put a lot of time, invested a lot of resources into building your infrastructure as a franchise. And, you can look at it, it literally takes longer to build your franchise system than to build at a location.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true.
But it's,
Yeah.
you can't stress that enough, the importance of having that, right? You're having franchisee partners, you want to make sure that you have that system in place, and you want to make sure that you're able to, give them that opportunity to thrive in their own business, but also have an infrastructure that supports them properly.
Right. And you guys are the true testament of supporting small business in smaller communities. Like you see with you guys involved in your local, that's what franchising is. So like it's local business, the franchise owner is the owner operator, is the, it's their money going into their community. It's their employees, and that just gleams off you guys. So those values, what we found was working with you is the true core values of what it takes to be an amazing franchisor cannot be taught.
Right.
You have or you don't.
Yeah.
When we go 9 out of 10 that we meet, we don't work with. As you go, we go through a franchise growth validation audit, and you guys certainly pass with flying colors. But so okay, let's talk about first of all your food.
Yeah.
Wow. And again, the withdrawals are real. Coming back, I'm from East Coast, right? So I grew up with Donairs, and I'm telling you, that's been the best that I've had. The pizza, like why we say you leave happier than when you came in. You don't feel greased out, gross. Let's talk about that, because I remember the first time we met, you had said one thing that's important to it that we won't change is the quality of our ingredients. We're not going to skimp on that. We want to have good quality ingredients. Why is that so important to you, Sal?
For me, it's when I opened my restaurant here, I made it an open kitchen because I wanted people to see what we cook, how clean we are, and how fresh our food is. So it is very important for me is the quality of food. As we spoke before, Steve, the quality that you put in your body, it's very important. I call it like a fuel. It's a fuel to the car, right? So
100%.
The best quality of food. I know it's cheese, it's pizza, it's rather donair, but it is a high quality food, and that's we will never change. Quality is our best topping. That's what we advertise on.
Oh man, and and again, what we're going to see and when we're talking about this, we have lots of content. So when you watch how your staff, first of all, the nicest people I've ever met, my God, they love their job.
Yeah.
Your staff are just gleaming, right? So, obviously you treat them well, and they just love it. And watching them, it's like art. And you taught me something really important about food quality is, and I'll certainly let you explain it. Whenever you bite into a pizza, all the shit falls off, right? It's just kind of gone. And then when you look at the cheese, it's the same color as when it went in. You taught me about the amount of fat percentage in cheese and why yours doesn't fall off, or how you start with the crust. Can you explain that to us?
So first of all, the cheese has so many kinds of cheese you can buy. You could buy it as a cheap cheese, and it's called cheap price because it is cheap cheese. So we buy high dollar for the cheese, and when you look at pizza, Steve, you're gonna look at the color of the pizza when it comes out of the oven. So it has to have that gold color. And it's called gold for a reason. It's a gold cheese. That means it's expensive, it's delicious, it's good to eat. That's the cheese itself. When you come on making the pizza itself, we start the cheese right on the crust. We put the cheese around the crust and goes into the toppings inside the pizza. So when we cut the pizza, when you have the first bite, first of all, before you bite into the pizza, you look at the pizza, it's all one covered.
Oh, it looks good.
So, and then you have the first bite, the second bite. The cheese is not sliding off with the toppings that comes all over you. And that's where the trick of making a good quality pizza. You start from the crust. Don't be cheap on cheese. I know it's some pizza places, they're like, cheese is gold. Well, it is gold, but I want to sell gold.
As we're speaking and you're talking, the content that we're going to do is showing making the thing, showing it going into the oven, showing it coming out of the oven, showing my gut just filling my face. It is astronomically good. And you're
I'm so proud of having a gold product, a gold cheese pizza, a gold pizza product. I'm so proud of that, and that will never be changed.
Right. And you talked about the gap between the crust and the pizza. how there's a cheese gap, and that's why most things come off. But you guys don't do that.
No, because
No.
that's where you look at some pizza places, mostly like when you buy a cheap pizza, for example, the crust is the dough. You won't see any cheese on that. And if you look at it in a food cost effective, it's huge, because going in a circle on that pizza, there's a lot of cheese going in there. But that's why we focus on the quality more than on how much pizzas we'll be selling, So it's a quality above the quantity.
Yeah.
Well, and seeing the customers there and seeing how happy they are when they come in, because we visit and we'll talk about that, numerous locations. I mean, your clients were everything, customers were everything from high school kids to senior citizens, sitting there smiling. And, as I'm having my first Donair pizza, which is heaven. Oh, it's so the customer base is, but you can see that so much, and good on you, because again, you're right. A lot of the the pizza market, you put on the blindfold test, a lot of them you can't tell it apart. It's salty. You're right. The cheese, it just looks like white goo, right? So, so locations. I toured around. Some great locations. Fantastic. You actually have a franchise, which we'll talk about that. But how many locations do you have now, Michael?
We currently have 4 locations in what's called the Lakeland area. So that includes Bonnyville, Cold Lake, Vermilion, and St. Paul.
And this is in Alberta.
This is in Alberta. That's correct.
Right.
And our first location opened in 2004. And our second location, which was in Cold Lake, was opened in 2015. And then the next one was Vermilion, which was 2016, the following year. And our newest location, which is in St. Paul, is 2021, which is now officially our first franchise.
Amazing, man. Well, many more to come. And I, from meeting your owner, meeting everyone, going around and just meeting your staff, meeting your franchisee, everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid. But the one thing I want to throw out here is Express Pizza Plus Donair. You didn't draw off of a million population, right? So your model works in small towns, which are called secondary markets, which some large brands won't even really look at as a territory. And when you look at in the franchise sector, in all of North America, you 14,000 different brands trying to or are franchising in North America. And a lot of them look at drawing off a huge population, but you guys didn't. You guys did it in small town Alberta, so and also, when you talk about, if anyone who's watching this, whenever you are interested in this, your sales are huge for small town. And we're talking north of 7 figures for some of your locations in a small town. So how does that happen? How does that happen? That you do so well in these small towns?
2 factors: quality of food and service, and then community involvement.
Yeah.
These are your 2 keys.
Right.
If you have a good quality food, good quality service, good people. You mentioned our staff, they're amazing. We treat our staff our family, because our staff is who's making the food daily, who's talking to the customers daily, who's on top, the inside of the operation, and some of the staff, they've been with us for over 12, 13 years.
Wow.
And sure, they get offered more money, but the respect that they earn from us, that they earned on their behalf also, they won't find it. So they drop the money, they'll stay with us. And that's huge for us.
Amazing. Amazing. And when you start calculating out, again, in our disclosure document, we disclose, it'll blow your hair back. When you look at, the population versus sales, we're talking everyone in that city is giving you a couple $100 per year. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, right? So, okay, well, let's talk about your franchising, like amazing restaurateurs. You guys know your shit. Why franchising to expand? Like what made you want to get into that aspect of franchising as opposed to, opening a few more here yourself? And what brought you to that?
Right. Well, we've always wanted to expand. And I think franchising kind of presented us with an opportunity to do so while maintaining the integrity and core values, of that define us. And it allows us to inspire, I guess, empower entrepreneurs to, run and manage their own business while also providing them with the support necessary to thrive in it as well. And, that's very important for us, is to make sure that not only can we give them the opportunity to have their own business, but ensure that, they feel comfortable that, we are there with them. It's not they're all on their own. This is a partnership. This is a team. This is, even a greater vision for growth together with them in the future. And that's why we thought franchising might be the best model for us moving forward.
Fantastic answer. And, I look at I always say any business is their success is dictated by their strategy, their infrastructure, and their top C-suite team. I've met your family. They're just amazing. First of all, maybe it's the garlic sauce. You guys just don't age. You just don't age. Sarah looks like your sister, and Saul looks like your brother, right? It's something else. But you guys have this dynamic where, you have Saul, you have Michael, you have Sarah who's involved. Sarah's behind the scenes, but probably keeping it in order as we speak right now.
Yeah, she's watching.
With the family values that you have, that's certainly run down into the aspect of your business. So those core values, and not to put you on the spot with core values, but what are those values that with the core values of your family, the core values of how you present yourself, the hospitality that you gave me? Literally, I was in your home, right? Yeah. And why are those core values so important? Why have they trickled down into your business?
Well,
so, we'll go. Yeah, either one is either one. I'm sure you both have a good answer.
I'll let my son go on.
Okay, right.
Well, the core values obviously are what define, our business and how we represent ourselves in the community. And I believe there's a lot of important core values, but the main ones for us are, having integrity, quality, and community. These are the bedrock of our business. We believe in conducting ourselves within honesty, transparency, prioritizing the highest standards of quality, whether that's food or service, in any realm, and giving back to the community as they have supported us throughout the years. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are. Right.
And Saul, let's get you, because you're very involved in your community. Like, you're on the board of your chamber. You're the chair of it, I think. I mean, you're very,
yeah. As a matter of fact, I had the AGM yesterday. It was a long day.
That's a lot, So, I mean, what about you? And we're going to talk about Michael here in a second as taking the reins here. But your family, you and I have got to know each other quite a bit. And no matter what, people in general, when they're looking, there has to be an emotional connection. There has to be. There has to be. Otherwise, it's just business. It's just money. It's just transactional blah. But the way you've really trickled down from day one when you went in there and rolled up your sleeves, your values have trickled down. Why are they so important to you?
We were being raised like that. Me and Sarah, came from a great family that raised us on morals, respect, people help people. Nothing stays. You live your life. It's a journey. You live 50, 60, 80. At the end of the day, it's what you leave. What kind of legacy are you going to leave behind you? So that's how we've been raised. That's how we raising our family, out of respect for morals. And that's our main thing. And if you talk about the business, why franchising, for example, because I want to help people that were in my situation when I started my business. The struggles that I went through with creating the new sauces, creating the pizza, creating the business model, the marketing side, the accounting side, all what I went through. And it took me years. People go to university 4 or 5 years to get a degree. It took me 4 or 5 years to put my business, where it should be. We're fortunate we're making, a growth from the first year we start opening, because we're working so hard and focusing. But my mind always, what's next? What I can do? What's the next thing I can do to grow my business, to prove more? And involvement in the community. I'm a social guy. That's my passion. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy listening to people, helping people, rather financially or even advising them. leading them into different scenarios in their lives. That's who I am.
It certainly is, and you can see that when I checked into the hotel. The lady comes up and goes, "Hi, Steve," and I said, "How the hell did you? I'm in Bonnyville. How do you know?" Saul called, make sure it was taken care of. I seen the way that you are in the community when we've been out for dinner, talk to people. Those values ring true, and good on you. And
I think, Steve, it's very important for me, and I take a very, very proud of it. Is 20 years ago, I used to feed the high school kids coming, because there's a high school across the street from our first location here. They used to come in and have pizza, and I talked to them. Some of them, they work dishwashers, some of them they work delivery drivers. As years goes, now they bring their kids in to the store. It's like, Sal, these are my kids. So it's like, okay, so which school do they go to? Elementary school. Okay, we're gonna make sure your kids will eat the same food that you used to eat and bring them over. To me, honestly, I like to see the second, the third generation of these communities, wherever I have locations in. I know a lot of people, and that's a big thing for me.
But your family's actually also franchisees. You're a franchisee of a certain brand, so you see it from that side. You're a landlord. You own multiple properties, so you see it from so many angles, which has had to help you with your business values.
Yes.
Right on. Love it. So, okay.
And also, I'll add one thing here. Okay, no, continue. There's one.
No. Please keep going. This is great.
I just want to say, like, Sarah has a lot to do with, as you just mentioned, with those kind of ideas you're talking about.
Yeah, bringing a new perspective in.
Listen, I tell you, and it's always, when you look at anything, any CEO, any politician, it's the people behind the camera that are doing a lot of work. And let's just throw it. I know Sarah wouldn't get in, but what an amazing woman. What an amazing mom. What an amazing business owner. What an amazing, just incredible.
Yeah, we're lucky to have her in our lives.
Oh, sure. God. Well, that kind of brings us into support. When you're looking at a lot of franchise candidates now, or people it always starts, guys, with curiosity. I'm interested in Express Pizza Plus Donair. How? You don't know anything about it. Right. How can you be interested in something you don't know about? So it starts with curiosity, and then does it turn into interest? And it's important to have with franchising, is it a good fit for both sides? Are you what we're looking for? And are we what you're looking for? But the support aspect, whenever a franchise opens, what kind of support can they get from construction, the location, going from A to Z? What kind of support can they get to open? And then what kind of support will they get after they open?
Right. Well, we understand the importance of, having that support and having that guidance too from A to Z, right? We will always ensure that our franchise partners receive, comprehensive training, ongoing operational support, marketing assistance, and of course, access to, our network of suppliers. We're fully committed to the success, and we provide them with the tools and guidance that they need to thrive in their own business. We understand the struggles that could come with business, and sometimes it could get overwhelming, and obstacles that you might not think you'd face. And we would just want to let them know that as franchisors, we're always there. Always ensure that we have your back, and we're in this with you. So from A to Z, you can always rely on us to be there, and every step of the way.
Amazing. So and this is hard to put into an objective category. So let's talk about traits. What do you look for? What is your ideal franchise partner that you would look for? Saul, let's start with you. What are some traits and values, and what is the characteristic of the individual or individuals that are looking to open?
Well, I tell you what, I'm not looking to sell the brand. I'm looking to award it. If I wanted to sell the brand, I would probably have 20, 30 locations, and I'll be fighting with them to teach them the right way of the business. So it is important for us. It's over 2 decades now we built this brand. And as we mentioned before, they're all doing an excellent numbers, and there's potential to even do more. It's all up, up to the franchisees, how hard and how cooperative they're going to be for their success. goes with along with our success also. So I would like to say I award it to the people that respect that the brand, respect the family business, and understand that nothing is perfect, but we will work as hard as we can with them to make it as close to be as excellent in every aspect that needs.
Yeah.
Amazing, Michael.
Well,
The next fresh set of eyes, the young guy coming in, who's I tell you, 20 years old, doing better than I was doing at 20, and earned every cent. Anyway, so you, what do you look for going forward as traits or for franchisors? Franchise partners.
First, they gotta love Donairs. That's a big one.
Yeah.
No, honestly, our ideal franchise owners, someone who shares, our passion for food, the brand, entrepreneurship, community again is a big one. These individuals, we hope that they should be driven, dedicated and committed to upholding our brand values and core values, and at the same time being able to deliver exceptional customer experiences. I think that's what's most important in what we look for a franchisee/partner.
Awesome. Well, couldn't have said it any better myself, boys. That's pretty good. So, Sal.
Yes.
From day one, you had said Michael is the future of and meeting him in person and spending as much time with him. Couldn't agree more. I think that you're just a wonderful businessman. Background in accounting as well, and when you look at your portfolio of what you've accomplished in your young man, why is it important, Sal, for you to say, here's the reins of, because Michael is the president of our franchise company. He is the president, right? Why is that important to you? Why was that important?
I think you already said some of it about Michael when you start talking about meeting him and who he is. So for us, it's not only because Michael is our son. Michael is, we saw that in him, as he mentioned earlier, when he started coming to the business, 13, 14 years old. As a matter of fact, I treated him as a complete new employee. He clock in, he clock out, he do the dishes, he leaves, he gets paid hourly. Like he treated as an employee. He started with cleaning the floor, sweeping, mopping. So that's what he started, because I wanted him to know everything, if that's something for him to do as a business. But Michael is an entrepreneur, rather is Express Pizza Plus Donairs or not. He's the guy that we believe strongly that he will be very successful with whatever he does in his life. At 21 years old, like the moral, the respect for himself, the way he carried himself, the way he cares about us parents, about his sister, about his siblings. He's a leader. He's a family leader already. So when you're a family leader, never mind anything else in life, it could be just easier. So, he's a third year accounting, doing online, getting very excellent marks, working with us here, has another job as a bartender too. He's all over the place, calm, energy, smart. And also, I don't know if Michael mentioned before, but he read a lot of books about franchising, so he did his math before even came to me. He's like, Dad, what about this? Because the franchising idea, I always wanted to franchise, but as I got older, I'm involved with so many things, and I want to spend some time with my kids. And franchising, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money, and that. So I was like, if it's coming from him, then heck yeah, I will support him all the way. The sky's the limit with this guy.
He can grow a hell of a beard too, can he?
Huh? Yeah, believe it or not, I had this at 15.
Oh, you're one of those guys, man, right? It's yeah. Well, look, I could, you can see that, and I always say, leaders aren't made; they're born. And when you look at the statistics of second generation business, usually either accelerates it like crazy or kills it.
Right.
You are definitely one that's going to accelerate it. One thing that all of you, Michael, working with you, you're an asker, not a teller.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know, some people associate with being right with being smart.
Right.
Makes sense. It doesn't make any sense, right? So
Well,
coming in,
I believe, whenever you're speaking, you're only speaking on what you know. You're not going to learn anything that way. So, I am an asker because, I like to see new perspectives. I like new ideas. I like to, I might not always talk as much, but I am always thinking, I'm always absorbing, right? For sure.
You,
So,
through our whole tenure of you, but you're also very on it. You're very on. There's nothing slow paced with you.
no, I like the
Details don't get by you. We talked 9 o'clock at night before my time, right? Do the whole works of your whole family, Michael, you kind of being the spearhead, is you don't have to tell you something twice. It goes in, it absorbs, it's clicked, it's registered, it's in the vault, and that's important in business because they say, "Oh, don't sweat the small details." Are you nuts? Those are the things that are important.
exactly.
You look at it, and of course, and Sal and I are a lot alike. We were laughing in the way, and he was telling me the first time that he bought the 18-inch pizza pan, and I knew what the answer. I said, "How many buy? 50?" Drive Sarah nuts, eh? Oh God, it's that's wonderful. But no, it's when you look at a brand and the vision, what you guys have in store, when you look at the industry itself, and as Michael, when we were walking around and we're looking at things, and of course we're always spitballing marketing ideas, and you always write them down, which is great. Leave happier than when you came in.
Yeah.
And why that came was, literally, I ate a lot of food that day. But I did not feel gross. I did not feel the. I felt happy, and but all things from the business experience to the food quality always comes back to that. But I gotta ask, as an East Coast boy, why the Donair? Where the hell did that come from?
Dude.
To bring the Donair to Calgary and have a good chunk of your sales, like a large chunk of your sales. In fact, when we rebranded, it was Express Pizza Plus Donair. What? Why? How? Where? Tell the story.
About 23 years ago, I had the first Donair in Edmonton. I don't remember the store. The meat was okay. I didn't really care for the sauce as much, So I was like, where could I get another Donair somewhere here? I couldn't find anyone. And in Edmonton or even Calgary back 23 years ago, it wasn't popular. It was. So I came to Bonneville and I decided to have Donair, but I created our own sauces, the sweet sauce and the garlic sauce. And we put it on the cone, like fresh in front of customers, as you've seen it. So they see how we slice it, how we cook it, how we prepare it with fresh vegetables, fresh sauces makes daily. And I tell you that I used to eat Donair lunch and supper for quite a few months when I first started this location. So that was my favorite. And we start being creative. What about a Donair salad? What about putting Donair on a pizza? What about Donair on poutine, for example? A Donair sub toasted in the oven. So I start being very creative. And Sarah has a lot of vision with that too. It's like Donair's. I think she was the first one that had a Donair salad. I was like, oh, it looks good. Let's put it on the menu. And sure enough, it's a big seller. So these kind of things. And we found that Donair, it's good with anything. Like sometimes you'll be slicing Donair and just eating
man, you should have got a Nobel Prize for that Donair pizza. That's something else. But it's incredible because no matter what, I've had a lot of Donairs, right? And I'm telling you, this is something else. It's not a grease pit. It's not the thing that's wrapped in foil that's all dripping down. It's not something that only drunk people eat, right? It's something that you can have. You can have it multiple times per week. You can have your pizza. You can have your wings. I've tried them. I've had it all. It's absolutely phenomenal. And so now as you grow, it's going to happen when you start looking at bare numbers. It's important to you that you don't water down that quality, correct?
100%.
This is why, for example, fast food, some people, they title it as a greasy, not healthy food. Well, if you look at it, anything could be unhealthy, but if you cook it healthy, in a healthy way, you have high quality ingredients, it will be a healthy food. All these athletes, the first thing they want to eat is pizza, but I'm sure they're eating a high quality pizza to keep them going for hours and hours, right?
Listen, I've owned fitness business, but I weight train hard. I've been in that business for years, and when someone says, "Oh, I can't have I can't have pizza dough." Yeah, pizza dough once a week. That's the problem. No, right?
Well, people ask us, like especially me, Michael. I mean, he's a young fellow. He works out, but they ask me, he's like, "How come you still fit? Like you eat pizza, you eat dinner." I was like, "I eat this every day, but I'm eating healthy pizza and donair. I'm not eating a greasy donair, as you mentioned, full of a grease and oil and a cheap quality stuff in it. Also, the pizza that we're eating, it's fresh, made freshly. There's no unhealthy ingredients in it. So
that's all I tell you. In many, many years in that industry, someone says, "How do I know if it's healthy? How do you feel afterwards?"
Yeah.
Good.
How do you feel? You either absorb it or pass it. How do you feel? Right?
Yeah.
And but no, I can tell you, like leaving your location, someone who's looking for quick service pizza. Let's talk about competition. And Sal, we talk specific about this. Someone says, I'm interested in Express Pizza Plus, or I'm curious about Express Pizza Plus Donair, but there are 10 other pizza places in my community. Let's just say they're all doing $600,000 a year in sales, which is low compared to some. That's $6 million worth of business that you can walk in and take.
Yeah.
Right there, because no matter what, you going across the street from a non-quality location, walk in, yours might be a little bit more expensive, of course. It's steak and hamburger, like however you want to look at it, but that doesn't scare you, does it? Having competition.
I'll never be scared. And if you're scared, don't get into the business.
Right.
You have to have the passion that your head up and I can do it. It doesn't matter what it takes. I want to do it. I give you an example, like our Cold Lake location. There is almost every single pizza franchise that you think of. It's there. I think we counted about 16, 17 pizza places in a community that has about 18,000 people, or 20 maybe. I won't say the busiest because I don't know their numbers, but we're still very, very happy with the numbers we're doing, because we sell a lot of pizzas and lots of donairs. I'll never be scared. I know for a fact that from my experience in the 4 locations, I always go there with a positive attitude. I want to make it, and I will make it.
But your food and your business model, when you look at the business model, going in, running the business the way, here is the model that we have in place. And Michael, this is kind of to you. It's really logically impossible not to make a good go of it if you go in and follow that to a T. So with people that are looking in a certain area and they're saying, "Okay, what's my chances of success?" That's very subjective too. I don't know how hard it is, right? But in your mind, when someone's going to go in and secure, you're going to help secure the location, you're going to help build it out, you're going to do all that kind of stuff, and someone says, "What's our success chances?" Legally, you can't say, but what would you say to someone besides the fact, well, it's very dependent on how well you operate your business and but what would you say to something like that?
I would say that, Steve, we have 4 locations now, and they've been pretty consistent across the board. If they're following our structure and our system that we have in place. So I would say that, as long as you're ready to, be a part of our system and implement it, I wouldn't say we won't face any problems, but you could expect it to be on par with what we do expect out of our brand. And
right.
With that being said, though, every place is obviously going to be different, but a part of that too is being able to, I guess, not be too stubborn and accept that, okay, maybe, yeah, we could tweak something here or tweak something there, and, understand that, changes could be made perhaps sometimes. And that's part of growing and expanding and, just implementing what we have.
And change is good.
Exactly.
Coming into it, it's great that with the changes you guys have made, but you made it on the vision You didn't compromise. I didn't come in and say, listen, guys, you're going to cut your food costs by 10%. Didn't come in. You wouldn't. You said, no, not a chance for doing that. Didn't come in and say, okay, we're going to look and we're going to do this. We're going to sell to anyone with a checkbook, or, you won't do that. So the changes you have made after 20 some years, the founders of the company, your vision now and your energy is put into making sure your franchise owners are successful. This business here, anyone who's watching, Express Pizza Plus Donair, is opportunity. The opportunity for growth. We're going hard in Alberta for this year. Right? We're going to do that. You're not looking to open in Victoria, BC, and St. John's, Newfoundland, spiral all over Canada like a moron, like a lot of the brands do off the get-go. The opportunity for growth. If someone said to you, Saul, okay, well, look, if I get into this, I'm into this for the long run, and I'd like to own multiple stores one day, what would you say to that?
I would love to see that, but I want to see how passionate and how serious they are. And how because they'll become partners. This is the thing, franchisees will become partners, and we're open to ideas, we're open to change. As you mentioned, for 20 years, for example, you might get a question from somebody, why they're changing the 2-for-1 2-1 pizza, single pizza now. When we created the 2-for-1, for example, it was a different model of running a business back in the days. Till COVID hit, everything's changed. So we found that the 2-for-1 model, to keep up with the cost of food, it's not going to work for new locations. That's why we completely, and I'm a person that, I'm a 44 years old man, but I always have
like you're about 30. Look at you.
I always like to open for new ideas, whatever. So for example, some stuff, they gave me ideas about creating a new pizza. I was like, make it, it's good, we'll put it on the menu. That's kind of person who I am, so the idea of getting out of the 2-for-1 is, for example, because it is better for our franchisees to cover some of their food costs. That's the only way we could cover the food costs from getting away from the 2-for-1. And it's very old and it's very done. We can't continue that model.
Right. And innovation, the way that you guys have innovated, I look at the food is delicious. Great. The model, everything there, the marketing, all those aspects are in there, but also the way a location is designed to run. You guys know what you're doing. Like, you're not running back here, it's like it's there. It just makes sense. It's almost like music. Watching it when you're pounding of the dough, the making of the dough. You're making it. You're not getting little frozen pods in. It's just incredible from when they take that dough, put that on, the amount of speed that they can do it to, and putting it in, and when it comes out, it's just like art, right? Yeah. But so as you go, are innovative to make sure the operations of your franchise owners and their business is very, but you would never ask them to do something that you wouldn't do yourself.
No.
And you don't get to where you are without, you've been there, done it, you've rolled up your sleeves. Saul, if you could go back now, this is and again, I go off script here as I done the whole thing. I'll give you some questions. If you could go back to Saul right now, 23 years ago, what would you say to Saul? What would you say to Saul?
Just be more, I don't know. I think I did okay. I'm not sure.
I think you did okay, Buzz.
I think I'll be more extra focused, and being even more creative. Even though, as I said, I've done very well. To me, Steve, there's always in back of my mind, in front of my eyes, the sky is the limit. To get to the sky, you need to always move your wings.
Right.
You always need to be on the fly. So I would have flew more at a younger age than I'm 44 now.
Well, geez, fly more than the 747, bud. So listen, we've heard you give and say some great things about Michael. Michael, what about your dad? How much did you work with?
Honestly, my parent, not only my dad, my mom as well, they've shaped me into the person I am today. I've seen the dedication that they put into what they do, and the time, and not only into the work, but into the community and people. And that's something that I realize and I respect a lot and look up to a lot. A lot of their actions have been instilled into me through their own. And I'm always grateful for their constant guidance and support, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way, and I couldn't ask for better role models in my life, for sure.
No, I can tell you, when we went out for dinner, and we went for dinner to the place that is owned, and Michael, you actually work, us sitting down. So you probably see this, you're probably used to it. I thought it was wonderful. We're watching Michael as you came in. You went and said hi to the staff. Bye. You said hi to the kitchen staff, to the dishwasher. Made your way through, and then you sit down. That you can't teach.
Yeah.
Have that. And obviously that came from Sal, which kind of came from, and that's the way that you treat people, and the way that if a franchise opportunity, you have to love the C-suite team. You have to love the people at the top. If you don't, eventually, you're not always going to agree on everything, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's always the way we've done things. Doesn't exist with this company right here. So, with the sake of time, we'll wrap it up here. And of course, my dog's barking. I apologize for that. Guys, anyone watching here who's looking for franchise opportunities in the Alberta area, maybe in the, keep your eyes on, because eventually we'll be going. We're going to have a link below for you to have to be able to a link to inquire about this. Franchising with Express Pizza Plus Donair. In my heart, we've put a lot of work into working with these people. This is a brand that is going to do extremely well. And if you have one thing, guys, to say to someone who is curious about franchising with Express Pizza Plus Donair, that is asking you, what would you say to them? Someone who's just curious.
Yeah. Well, you want to take this one?
I'll say,
onto it.
Don't worry.
We got you.
We got you.
We're gonna do this together, and
I love it.
We're here with you. It's a partnership. It's a team. It's family too. They say you shouldn't always work with family, but I think creating a bond where you feel comfortable around the people you're working with is very important.
I will say that come up with honest, respect, open mind, full heart.
Yeah.
You come this way to us, we're here for you. We'll make it
happen. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so thank you guys, and we appreciate it. This was been amazing. Express Pizza Plus Donair. Keep your eyes open.
Hey guys, Michael Arabi here, president of Express Pizza Plus Donair, here with my father,
Sal Arabi, founder of Express Pizza Plus Donairs.
If you guys can join us with Steve here, we're going to be discussing everything about Express Pizza Plus Donair with FranCanada. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the FranCanada Podcast, where we speak all things franchising in Canada. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share below. You can also visit our website, our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, Instagram, and please add me on LinkedIn, Steve Collette.